Taking a break from music production happens more than people want to admit. Life gets busy, motivation drops, and sometimes things just aren't clicking anymore. But coming back, that's where most producers struggle. You sit down, open your session, and things just don't feel the same. I've definitely been there, and I'm sure many of you guys have too. So today, I'm going to give you the 5 ways you can get back into beat making after taking a hiatus. You ready? Let's get into it. Number 1 is to take time to get back familiar with your tools. And the first tool I'm referring to is definitely going to be your DAW or your beat machine that you're currently using to produce music. You know, after a hiatus, it can kind of feel like it's taking a while for us to get back into the groove of things. We can maybe struggle to put drum patterns together, struggle to put together nice loops and grooves and just any type of coherent flow of music like we used to back in the day. And at that point, we can start to feel insecure. We can ask ourselves questions like, you know, was I ever really that good? Was I maybe delusional in the past? What's happening? Did I kind of lose my groove? So you want to break things down all the way to the molecule and start by refamiliarizing yourself with your DAW. Sometimes you can start to get rusty just because you haven't been in there in a while. So take a look at some basic tutorials like you can find here on YouTube. Also go through the manual. That is extremely important. Guys, there's so many nice gems in the manuals that can help you produce music much more efficiently that a lot of us are looking over. Put yourself back in the mindset of a student. You're going to have to crawl before you walk again. You're going to have to feel like a novice for a little bit. Of course, you're going to get back into the groove of things much quicker than if you actually were a novice, but be patient with yourself. Please be patient with yourself. It's not going to get warmed back up overnight. You're going to have to take time, put in the work, put in the hours to get back familiar with things, and working through your DAW is a great way to do that. Number 2 is to actually be consistent. That's right, guys. We're in this era of just super quick dopamine hits. Everything is quick, instant, you know, TikTok, Instagram era where we just want everything quick and fast. Keep showing up for yourself multiple times a week, you know, and please try to set a goal if you can. One thing that I like to do is to actually use a timer to kind of hold myself accountable for how much time I'm putting into music production a week. A timer that I currently use is online-stopwatch.com. I've been using that for years. Man, it is on all my laptops, all my computers, because I like to use that to hold myself accountable. And I also have a whiteboard on the corner of my room for all my other tasks, as well as music production. So guys, please be consistent, keep showing up for yourself, and understand that the getting back into the groove of things is not going to happen overnight, and you need to be patient with yourself to work through the kind of the little ruts that are going to happen as you start producing again. All right, and tip number 3 is to try new sounds. That's right. One of the cool things about being a novice again is you kind of feel like a kid in a candy store. You know, you have all these different new sounds that are out there. So look at different platforms where you can find sound packs. You can, of course, get sounds from me, DesmondASounds.com. Check me out. Or just any other pack store that you like, man. Just if you find something that you like and you've heard some good reviews about it, you know, definitely please invest in yourself and purchase a pack or two. You know, it's going to give you that novelty, that high that you used to get when you originally started producing. You know, you might have some stuff on your computer currently, maybe a couple of overlooked VSTs. You want to look at those too, of course, but you can get really stimulated just by getting like new loops, new packs, trying stuff out, and just get super excited and locked in. Trust me, guys, I know that rush of when you're on a hiatus and you get back into things, you get these new sounds, you just, man, you feel so good. So don't be afraid to invest in yourself and to actually purchase new sounds. And I said purchase new sounds on purpose as opposed to just getting new sounds like cracked on, you know, Reddit and stuff like that. I know what y'all doing out there. So the reason I say that is because when you put money out there, you're showing that you trust yourself and that you're willing to invest in yourself. And that's a way to internally hold yourself accountable. You know, getting stuff for free is not really about just getting the things for free. It's that you're not actually investing in yourself. And as producers, I know we can definitely relate to that. You know, sometimes We can deal with artists who kind of feel like they're trying to get over on us and get stuff for free. And a part of that is because they don't trust themselves to actually deliver or perform on the thing. So they can kind of project that hesitation onto us. And we've also, quite a few of us have worked with artists who do trust themselves, who don't hesitate, and they maybe just ask more questions, but we know that they're actually confident in themselves and what they can actually accomplish, and they take things seriously. And those type of artists actually pay and invest in themselves, music production, studio time, and things like that. The same thing is true for us as producers and beat makers. We need to make sure that we're actually putting money out there to get the things that we actually want. And that's another way to hold ourselves accountable. And that's another way to get really excited and really into the things, into the energy of creating new beats once again. So guys, please get some new sounds, try some things out, tweak a few things, and I promise you're gonna get a lot of excitement from that. All right, and tip number 4 is to actually join a community. That's right, it's easy to kind of slip back into our own little corner of not producing music again if we don't engage with other people who are actually in the same musical kind of culture. So, you know, if you're not in a city that has any type of music scene, then definitely utilize some of your online resources. You can join us here on YouTube. That's right, my community is called the Frequency Family, where we meet up every Friday for the Heat Check Live Beat Review Show. Man, we have a lot of fun every Friday listening to beats, everyone in the community. We all share tips and energy. So, you know, make sure you join that. And also my Discord, that's going to be in the description as well. And just exchange information, get some ideas, get some vibes. You know what I mean? Communicate with each other on different struggles that you might be having as a producer. You know, it's a lot of people out there who are going through the same things. Sometimes we just don't take the initiative of expressing ourselves. And joining a community is a great way to constantly stay motivated, constantly be in the groove of producing music again. So that way it even becomes challenging to slip back into not making music. So get out there, join some communities, get some good information, and continue to hold yourself accountable and keep cooking up fire music. And the 5th way to get back into beat making after a hiatus is to remain a student. That's right, not just a student of music production itself, also just a student of music, a student of people in general. Get into different autobiographies or biographies of some of your favorite producers or recording artists. Go out to different concerts, meet different people, listen and really feel the sound system. Look at different people playing instruments in the park and just, you know, really question, why do I like the way this sounds? Do I like this chord progression? Do I like the articulation of how this piano player is doing things? Don't be afraid to go out to a theater. Just get out there and live life. Be a student of life, and the music is going to reflect that. You know, maybe go out to different musical lounges and clubs and just different open mics where you can just get into the flow of things, get the energy going. And also, you know, if you're a producer who wants to get more on the musical side, just pick up a little bit of music theory. There's a lot of music theory basics here on YouTube that you can utilize to get you learning different chord structures and things of that nature. Maybe you can even pick up an instrument like the guitar. So you could just, I want you to just be in that student mode, that constant learning mode, that constant absorption mode. So that way you understand what your job is, what your role is. It's not just a hobby. You're making music for recording artists to express themselves and that music to be shared with the rest of the world. So as music producers, sometimes we could just think about the actual product of the beat and the song itself. We can sometimes forget about the actual fans, the music lovers who are actually going to go out there and buy the music to support the recording artists. All right, so I hope you enjoyed those 5 ways to get back into beat making after a hiatus. So let me know in the comments, what are some ways that you've actually learned to get back in the groove of making music after a hiatus? Did you learn a new instrument? Did you pick up a drum machine? Did you pick up a new DAW? Did you start engineering? What are some things that you did, that you utilized to get back into beat making? This is a community. This is a dialogue. So I want to know what you guys think in the comments. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you hit like and subscribe. My name is Desmond A, and I'll be back with more great videos. Peace.